What happens when a country builds a navy without a coastline? Ethiopia has trained sailors, command structures, and a vision, but no sea. And now the clock is ticking.
ያለ ጥርጥር የባህር በር ይኖረናል። በውሃ ላይ የሀገራችን ብሔራዊ ጥቅማችን እናስከብራለን።
Tonight, we ask the question no one wants to touch. Is Ethiopia's new navy already trapped? Or is there a last, risky way out? Way good, fan. Welcome to Semonignamedia Spotlight, your front row seat to Ethiopia's most pressing geopolitical story. After 3 decades, Ethiopia is rebuilding its navy, a force that now needs sea to breathe, space to move, and a coastline to call home. But with Eritrea shutting its doors and Somalia drifting out of reach, the question becomes unavoidable. Can Ethiopia's new navy escape the glass and reach the open water on its own? The answer may surprise you. Tonight, Spotlight breaks down 4 unconventional paths Ethiopia could take, high-risk, high-stakes options that could redefine the Horn of Africa. Let's dive in. Trapped in a glass. The tension in Addis Ababa is tangible. In a recent address on Ethiopia's maritime ambitions, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed posed a question that captures the strategic frustration of a landlocked power. We established a navy 6 years ago. Did we establish a navy to swim in a glass? It's a striking metaphor. Ethiopia has invested in a fledgling naval force, over 1,000 sailors trained in France and Russia, a new command structure, modern vessels. But without direct access to the sea, the navy is confined. The Red Sea, one of the world's most critical maritime corridors, lies just beyond reach, tantalizingly close, yet firmly out of grasp. This dilemma is not merely military. It affects trade, national security, and Ethiopia's long-term economic vision. The absence of sovereign maritime access exposes Ethiopia to dependence, political pressure, and unpredictable diplomatic currents. Every import, every export, every fuel tanker relies on the goodwill of neighbors. With the Somaliland MOU faltering and Eritrea's Asab port firmly closed, Ethiopia faces a stark reality. The conventional avenues for maritime access are disappearing. To free its navy from the glass, Addis Ababa must consider the last options: high risk, high cost, and unconventional strategies that could finally open a window to the sea. Option 1. The Muscat pivot, the Oman solution. The concept: skip the Horn's turbulence entirely and strike a deal with the Switzerland of the Middle East, Oman. The idea is bold precisely because it circumvents the political minefields of the neighborhood. Oman has a reputation for neutrality, discreet diplomacy, and long-term strategic partnerships. The what if? Ethiopia secures a 50-year lease for a naval facility at Port Duqm or Salalah, echoing arrangements Oman maintains with the UK and India. These ports are modern, deep water, and politically secure, offering Ethiopia a stable platform far from regional disputes. The incentive: Ethiopia trades resources for access. Water: deliver fresh water via pipeline or tanker to Oman's deserts. Gas: grant exclusive future rights to gas extraction in Ethiopia's Ogaden Basin. Aviation: swap strategic stakes between Ethiopian Airlines and Oman Air. Additional angle: this option could also allow Ethiopia to develop blue water naval expertise, something beyond the Red Sea corridor. A base in Oman would push Ethiopia toward long-range maritime operations, anti-piracy missions, and Indian Ocean trade protection. It would also expand Ethiopia's diplomatic footprint among Gulf states. The reality: Pros: politically neutral, stable, avoids immediate friction with Somalia or Eritrea. Cons: geographically distant, Duqm or Salalah sit in the Indian Ocean, far from the Red Sea. Ethiopian ships would have to transit past rivals to reach the critical choke points. It's a blue water solution, not a Red Sea solution. Furthermore, a navy based outside the region may struggle to integrate with Ethiopia's continental defense posture. Option 2. The Obock enclave, the Djibouti reset. The concept: leverage Djibouti's fear of losing trade to Somaliland to negotiate a sovereign lease. Djibouti depends heavily on Ethiopian cargo. Losing that would hit its economy hard. Ethiopia can turn this economic leverage into strategic opportunity. The what if? Ethiopia requests a 20-kilometer strip of northern coastline in Obock, directly facing the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This strip is largely undeveloped, giving Ethiopia space to build a fresh naval facility without disturbing Djibouti's sensitive international military base cluster. The incentive: Ethiopia offers Djibouti the crown jewels, guaranteed stakes in Ethiopian Airlines or Ethio Telecom, permanently linking Djibouti's economy to Ethiopia's success. Additional angle: this option creates a genuine win-win. Djibouti secures long-term economic stability, while Ethiopia gains a sovereign maritime outlet without violating anyone's territorial integrity. A presence at Obock would also place Ethiopia close to major global shipping lanes, enhancing security and trade resilience. The reality: pros: legally sound, peaceful, geographically perfect. Cons: expensive, ceding equity in national champions comes at a steep cost. Yet this may be the only option that delivers both stability and legitimacy. Option 3. The Suakin revival, the Sudan gamble. The concept: exploit Sudan's instability to secure the historic island port of Suakin. The port is ancient but strategically placed, once serving as a key Ottoman outpost. The what if? Ethiopia leases the ruins of Suakin from Sudan's military, rehabilitating it as a naval hub. With Port Sudan under stress and Sudan desperate for allies, this partnership could reshape regional alliances. The incentive: Ethiopia provides cheap electricity from the GERD and border security cooperation. Additional angle: a presence in Suakin would give Ethiopia Red Sea access north of Eritrea, offering an alternative route if relations with Asmara deteriorate further. It could also position Ethiopia as a stabilizing actor in Sudan's chaotic political landscape. However, Sudan's internal divisions raise real questions about the durability of any such agreement. The reality: pros: deep Red Sea access north of Eritrea. Cons: high risk. Agreements signed with a volatile regime may vanish overnight. In the worst case, Ethiopia could invest heavily only to watch the deal collapse with a political shift. Option 4. The sea base, the floating navy. The concept: when land access is denied, create your own. This is a radical approach, but not unprecedented. Several nations operate floating bases when land options are limited. The what if? Ethiopia purchases a massive expeditionary sea base, a retrofitted supertanker with a helipad, barracks, and docking facilities. Additional angle: a floating base would give Ethiopia immense flexibility, allowing it to reposition quickly based on threats or diplomatic shifts. It could operate in the Gulf of Aden, the Arabian Sea, or even international waters beyond choke points. It becomes a mobile embassy of steel. The reality. Pros: requires no diplomatic permissions, sovereign mobility. Cons: costly, vulnerable, and temporary, a floating stopgap rather than a permanent home. Maintaining such a base requires advanced logistics, constant resupply, and heavy naval experience, all expensive for a developing navy. Verdict: breaking the glass. Prime Minister Abiy's question signals a fundamental truth. A navy trapped in a glass is a waste of effort and resources. Safest bet: Obock, Djibouti. Stability comes at a high price, but it is the only path that guarantees secure Red Sea access. Boldest bet: Oman. Expands Ethiopia's maritime reach into the Indian Ocean, but leaves the Red Sea problem unresolved. To break the glass without shattering regional stability, Ethiopia must trade its most valuable economic assets for the one thing it lacks: geography. And that's today's Semonignamedia Spotlight. Ethiopia's navy may be trapped in a glass for now, but the paths ahead are more surprising than they look. As always, we'll keep tracking the moves, the risks, and the shifting tides of the Horn. Way good, fan. Till next time, stay sharp, stay curious.